Okay, welcome to another LinkedIn ads video. Today we're doing Campaign Manager, a whole new video on Campaign Manager because there's a whole new layout where it's all on the side here and it's looking all a little bit different. So the other video I made, which had something like 10,000 plus views, is still relevant, but it definitely needs an update. So here we go. Let's jump into a Campaign Manager tutorial. The first thing you need to do is get Campaign Manager. And if you're not following me, please do so on LinkedIn. So I'll leave a link in the description below to my LinkedIn and just hit the follow button. Follow me on LinkedIn. But if you need Campaign Manager, go to linkedin.com and go to work over here and you click advertise, and then you're going to sign in, fill out some very basic forms, and it's going to give you a campaign manager. It's going to lead you to a page something like this. This is one of my test accounts. So let's get started in walking you through. Before we do, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button. I've also got this awesome LinkedIn ads targeting like a pro course. It's totally free. I'll leave a link in the description below. You can sign up there. But jumping back into this, now there's a sidebar. So rather than everything being at the top, they've made it into a sidebar. It's kind of quite similar to before, but it's a little bit different. So it deserves an update. So let's go through this one by one. LinkedIn kind of works in a hierarchical way. So you get campaign groups, campaigns, and ads. And so basically campaign groups lives at the top, and within campaign groups you have campaigns, and within campaigns you have a lot of different ads. So let's unravel that a little bit. How I'd use campaigns is normally when you, when you go into Campaign Manager, you're just going to have the default campaign group. The first thing I would do is create campaign group. You want to create a new campaign group, and the reason for that is that the default campaign group, you can't toggle it on or off, which is really useful if you're running a lot of different campaigns and you want to pause them, say after work, on weekends when you don't want to run ads potentially. It's really useful just to pause them. And also I think it's just more useful. You also can't rename this, which is kind of confusing. So I would start a whole new campaign group, and only reason why I'd have more than one campaign group is I'd look at campaign groups as, say, if you have either two products or two completely different flows. I'm running a campaign right now. I'm running a bunch of campaigns for a client right now where we have a freemium model and we have a sales-led model. And although the ads are really similar, if you look inside them, they're targeting different company sizes. So the freemium model, we're going up to 1,000 employee sized companies, whereas the sales-led one is 1,000 plus. So we're targeting a little bit different. So I put them in totally separate campaign groups, and the flow is very different. With the sales-led one, we're trying to get people to do a demo, and it's a whole sales process. With the freemium one, obviously it's like do a trial. So that's how I'd use campaign groups if you're managing multiple products or different flows completely. But then once you go into a campaign group, you're going to have campaigns, and this is where the magic happens. And I will go through, I have another video which goes into like setting up campaigns. This video is more about like understanding Campaign Manager. But within campaigns is where you set up your text ads and your sponsored contents and all the different types of ads you're going to have there. And within each campaign, you're going to have ads. And what that means is each campaign might have multiple ads because you're going to be A/B testing creative, A/B testing copy, that kind of stuff. So within a campaign, you're going to have multiple ads. And that's really important to kind of understand Campaign Manager. It's based on this hierarchical kind of way: campaign groups, campaigns, and then ads. So now you understand that, you can click into each of these, and that's how it works. So if we go to this left bar, this is going to be able to toggle now really quickly between accounts, which is really useful. You couldn't do this before. So if you click there, you can toggle in. Say if you're running multiple accounts, you can just click there and go to different accounts. So that's cool. It kind of saves you a click. So let's start with clicking on plan and then clicking on audiences. Here's a client account that I've done it very neatly for just now. And basically I've set up all the different types of audiences you can set up. There are video views and website audiences, all this kind of stuff. So if you click up here to create an audience, you're going to see company contacts. This is kind of the ABM where you can upload a list of companies or upload a list of contacts, which is really useful. I'm going to have a whole video just based around this. It's match audiences, but it's basically an ABM strategy where we can upload a whole list of up to 300,000, say, companies that we want to target. And if we have an ABM strategy, we can layer that on with, say we want to target this like 5,000 companies, and job titles, the types of job titles within the company or function with like the marketing departments within all these companies. Super powerful. It's amazing. Offline events I won't tackle in this beginners video for now because this is something a bit more advanced. But if we go to the retargeting audiences, we can set up retargeting on, say, company pages, which is really cool. So with company pages, we can do people who visited and people who clicked. So that's really cool, and we can do based on different time periods up to 365 days out, which is quite cool. I'm going to go through this quite quickly because I have a whole video just based on this. You can retarget based on events, which is really cool, which is you can do event ads, or you can have events and you can retarget anyone who's engaged with that event. You can retarget on lead gen forms, which is really cool. Lead gen forms being the form that pops up in an ad, and you can retarget based on anyone who's clicked on it or submitted the lead gen form, which is really, really useful. Or you can retarget anyone who's like open but not submitted, for example. Single image is an amazing new one. It's basically because we have iOS 14 coming up and all this cookieless Chrome is going to get rid of cookies, so it's going to be really hard to target people on websites. We can now retarget based on people who clicked, and it doesn't really matter what they did on the website. Even if they bounced, that doesn't matter. We're still going to be able to retarget anyone who's clicked on an ad to a website, for example. We can retarget them with very high accuracy because it's happening on platform and not on a website somewhere. Video is a great one. I love the video one. This one is basically retargeting people who have watched a certain percent of a video, which is great. Then we have websites, so we can retarget anyone who's visited a certain website, exclude people who have, for someone who's signed up to something, we can exclude them, but retarget anyone who's got to the sales page or an opt-in page or any of the other pages to try to get them back to do a certain action, but exclude the people who have, actually taken the action we want them to, which is really cool. And then, so moving down, we have block list. This is like lists you don't want to target. I won't go over this in this too much. And then in advertised, this is where it brings us to this dashboard over here. So that's cool. Test, again, I'm going to ignore. I wouldn't really look into that too much. It's something that you don't really need to know about too much. But if you go down to analyze, this is where you have your insight tag, and the insight tag is one of the first things you should be doing. I have a whole video about the insight tag as well. I have blogs, but you should be basically I'll leave a link in the description below about the insight tag, and basically you should be installing your LinkedIn insight tag as soon as possible. I have a video of how to do it on a WordPress site, and also how to do it with Tag Manager. I'd recommend doing it with Tag Manager. So you'd have to go to Google Tag Manager, one of the other tag managers, and put in your partner ID and set up everything via a tag manager. It's way better, it's cleaner that way, so that's what I'd recommend. So you can find your tag and the details, like the code is here if you want to do it directly on your website. Everything is here in Analyze, Tag. The next one is website demographics. So I'll go to my client's page again, and you can see, for example, that they have, website demographics is great. Even if you don't advertise, get your LinkedIn Insight tag on your website, and then you're going to be able to see some amazing information. Like you can see, for example, the types of job functions coming. So engineering, job functions like a department, so like marketing, sales. You can see the types of job functions coming, or for example, you can see the job titles, which is awesome. The co-founders, member, chief, CTOs, DevOps engineers, director of brand strategy. It's super cool to see the types of job titles coming to your website. You can even see companies, which is cool. So for example, Cisco, there's been a few people from Cisco coming, or HashiCorp, or all these different Palo Alto networks. It's quite cool to see. And sometimes you see, like, I on my website I saw like really interesting, like Amazon coming to my website. I'm not sure why. And then you have, for example, location, job seniority, company size, which is really interesting. So even if you don't advertise, the LinkedIn Insight tag is getting all this really valuable information. So definitely put it on. And within, if you go down to website demographics, eventually you're going to be able to see exactly what's going on there. So I don't have this. This is just a test account. And the final one on this section is conversion tracking. Website, this is really important. You're going to be setting up, your website conversion tracking, and you need to do this by going, I have a whole video just on this again, but you got to set this up because this is going to be basically the conversion. It's going to be tracking the conversions on your website. So it's going to tell LinkedIn it's important to track anyone who's hit a very specific page on your website, and then LinkedIn will start, collecting this data. And it's really important because on a website, LinkedIn doesn't do it retrospectively. So if you set it up later, it's not going to go back in time and collect all the valuable data over the past 6 months. It's only going to start tracking that from the day you set it up. So you go to set it up front. It's really important. And basically you're going to set up all the different pages on your website. And I have a whole page video based on this, which you should definitely check out. Assets is a new one, which is cool. So this is where you can find your lead gen forms. So you can set up your lead gen forms here, and you can, check where your leads are here. So you can download your leads based on this, which is great. Landing pages, generally ignore. It's for recruiters. Haven't really used it very much, but it's something that I mostly ignore. Asset history, again, is a new one. It's going to have all your assets in it, so it's all in one place, which is really useful. And then finally, you have account assets. So this is quite important. If you go to account assets, you go to manage access, and it's actually going to lead you. Manage access has changed now. You're going to be doing this all from Business Manager. So if you don't have Business Manager, click on Business Manager, and it's going to lead you to Business Manager, which is a different thing to Campaign Manager. And Business Manager is where I find it so useful now. If you're an agency or if you're managing multiple accounts, you can now give people, say if you have a team of people working with you on an account, you can give different members access to different accounts and different permissions. So you might have someone who just deals with the content or just copy. You can give people different. I have a whole video just made on Business Manager, so check that out. But it's super useful to have, and you can add partners, you can add other people, business managers, and you can do all this stuff on Business Manager. So you can find that here, and the managing the access will be all done from Business Manager now. Billing Center, again, is where you can find, add credit cards and manage billing. Only the billing manager can set this up and look at it. But basically, here's where you can see your receipts, you can see your transactions, and you can have coupons. So if you have a coupon, which LinkedIn has given you, so you can manage your credit card, add or change your credit cards here, which is very useful. And edit account, just like, what do you call your account? And currency, I don't think you can change. No. So once you set up your currency, be careful because you can't change it, which is kind of annoying. And here it just links to your company page. And that is it from there. So let's have a look if I'm missing anything. If you look at your performance chart, this will tell you, for example, which is really useful, the performance and demographics. So you can, for example, see, well, demographics you could see from the other section I gave you, but performance is cool because you can see like how many clicks, your average CPC, your average click-through rate over time. And that's important because maybe your click-through rate is decreasing over time, which is going to tell you, for example, you need to change your creatives, or there are other signals that are telling you that you need to change your creatives or update your copy or do something like that. So that's really important to see your performance over a time period, and you can see it like in different things, different time periods, which is super useful when you're analyzing an ad to see whether or not you need to change anything. So that's really useful. And then if we go back over here, you have demographics, which we already saw here. It's basically all the different, what kind of companies are coming. We already saw that. You can find that on the left part, and you can find that here. And this is a really useful one for exporting data, because like reporting is a really difficult one. I'm going to make a whole video around reporting. I actually export a lot of things into a Google Sheet, and I play with the data in different ways because there are different A/B tests that are important for different clients. And if you want to give, like, for example, if you want to split the data up in a very custom way, generally speaking, you can't really do that within LinkedIn. You can see a lot of stuff within LinkedIn, like the cost per click and average this and that, but actually it also collects all the data. Some, like, for example, the average cost per click will be, saying it's, $5. But if you get rid of all the ads that actually didn't spend any money, it brings down the average. So LinkedIn won't get rid of like certain data, and you need to get quite custom with that. I'm going to do a whole big video on reporting, because reporting is a massive pain in the arse, and it's a really important thing to get right. But here is where you can export a lot of different things, and I'll go over that in the video on reporting. So definitely subscribe and hit the bell button. I know this has been a mega video, but I hope it's also been super useful. I'm going to link at the bottom all the different videos that you should be hitting, but the next video you should definitely watch is this one on Business Manager. So check that one out.